Welcome to the Sport and Society Squad, aka the SAS. Each week we bring you 3 sport or society stories to break down and give our sassy takes and apparently stumble over every word. With those sassy takes, we do just want to give you a content warning that some of the language used on the pod may be explicit. We just ask that you please be mindful of who you're listening with and where you're listening. Said it reverse, so keep you on your toes. With that, let's get into it. This week it's just me and Eris, and again, cue the song. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Wow. Yeah, I got pipes, right? Oh yeah. How are you?
I am well. I have been in head down study mode for the last week. So getting my personal
in head down.
I don't know what's happening in the world. Like, I didn't know that there was a new pope. That's crazy. I missed
Pretty
that
dope.
news. Pretty dope pope.
He's from America, okay?
He's from America. Anyways, no. It's we are a little rowdy when it's just the two of us. But before we get into the playbook today, I want to go through a quick huddle. We'll cover a few sport and society highlights from this past week so our listeners feel like they are in the know with the sport and pop culture world. And just heads up to our listeners that we will be taking a 2-week spring break for the podcast. Woo! So we'll be back in your ear holes June.
Disgusting.
You didn't like
5th.
That?
June 5th.
All right. Well,
I mean, support, but
okay. But anyways, just a heads up, we'll be taking a 2-week break, so don't worry, we're not gone forever. Just a little breaky poo where Chelsea conquers Peru.
Absolutely. Call it the SAS gone wild, but not girls gone wild.
Oh man. Anyways, I'm gonna jump into our highlight. So here are some huddle highlights that we won't be breaking down in depth, but think are worthy to note. So in sport news, in women's soccer news, FIFA announced last week that the Women's World Cup will expand from 32 teams to 48 teams by 2035. This will bring an additional 40 matches that will extend the tournament by a week. So that's exciting. Do we know the countries?
Who? Sorry. No, I didn't want to dabble like that.
All right, that's fair.
I was like, that's for them
to quick highlight. Yeah.
It's for them to decide.
We have till 2035
to find out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be new countries by then.
Oh well, shit. In horse news. Horse news feels weird for a sport highlight.
I know, right?
Trainer Bill Mott. Sorry, I need glasses, y'all. I have to get them because I can't read. Confirmed.
They're literally like, can you speak, read, hear, or see?
The answer is no. No. I've got a good nose though, so I can
absolutely
smell really well. Which is
You're
unhelpful.
The smeller of the pot.
It's unhelpful here. Anyways, Bill Mott confirmed that the Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty will not run in the Preakness Stakes. This means that there will not be a Triple Crown champion for a 7th consecutive year. Tough times for horse fans, and literally everything we were talking about last week just gets moot point by. So hope that Sovereignty is resting and keeps going in life.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did see on Netflix pop up that there's this new series following the horse owners and like the jockeys of horse racing, that. And like because they're just like the owners are just so rich. Yeah. Anyways, it's a new reality show, and I think it's new. But
what is it called? Knee high? I don't know.
What? It's crazy. The fact that I even know that it's a show, I don't need to know the name.
I appreciated it.
I bet you could Google it. Anyways, in baseball news, the Colorado Rockies fired their manager, Bud Black. This came after the team had lost by 21 runs to the San Diego Padres. Additionally, the team was off to a major league worst 7-33 start. Sorry to Bud. Oh, buddy.
Sorry, Bud. Also, Bud. Not to like interrupt this update, but like there's going to be several new TV shows featuring horses, like Champions Full Gallop, Race for the Crown. Just saying, check it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's too with F1. I mean, it's really popular, but I think they've just like learned you get put some reality spin or like I don't know is there a term for like a documentary reality like crossover feel where
There
it feels
definitely is, but I have no. That's a different podcast once
Okay.
again. And I'm sorry, bring us back. Sorry, bud. It's
Sorry,
the end
bud.
of your
Sorry.
run with
Yeah.
them.
Sorry, bud. Anyways, in NBA news, Indiana Pacers guard Benedict Mathurin, I don't know how to say his last name, sorry,
I believed you.
was ejected in game 4 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, it's allegedly. I saw this clip. Allegedly,
I'm just still saying allegedly.
Mathurin hit DeAndre Hunter in the chest with a closed fist, and things are getting heated. Here's the thing. He did that, and then DeAndre Hunter, like, shoves him after, and then that's when the like, fight-ish. The shove, like, everyone gets in a huddle. And the punch, I'm not saying that it's okay ever, but the punch didn't look like that hard.
Well, did anyone's dad get down there and start fighting?
Not
Not this week.
Not this week. But so things are getting heated. I think mostly Cavaliers, who are like the number 1 seed, are getting their ass kicked. So
oh shit. Okay.
by the Pacers. They like lost by 20 that game. And are down. So
okay, so
they were just a little sad. And then mad because they don't know how to express their emotions. Lastly, in NFL news, I was like, did we talk about this? Maybe not. The Baltimore Ravens have released their kicker, Justin Tucker. The release follows an NFL investigation into allegations of misconduct, which we have been talked about on this pod. Remember, the Baltimore Ravens also drafted a kicker, and Justin Tucker's out of here. He's been kicked out.
Him and Bud, you're out. You know, like an ump at a baseball game.
Yeah. I got yours, and I thought mine was funny because I said he's kicked out. But anyways.
And I missed it. So yeah.
I
was too focused on the wind-up, you know?
It wasn't that funny. And truly lastly, in NFL and sports news, this is a little sad. Veteran Derek Carr has announced he will be retiring after 11 seasons in the NFL. I think he's been having shoulder issues.
Yikes.
And he was one of those, I think, in some of the discussions we've had in the past about sexiest man in the NFL.
He was up there.
So sad for our eyeballs.
Doesn't mean he's not beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's, if anything, I don't know where I was going with that. In society, I don't know. I think he's married with kids.
We take it back.
In society, the Ends With Us drama continues. Taylor Swift has officially been subpoenaed as a witness in the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Swift's team is claiming the move is to make tabloid clickbait. Yikes. And for some reason, I agree. It feels like such a clickbait. Like, this whole thing has felt like both sides.
Just like, they're not supposed to go to court until March of 2026. We've still got like 8 months of this left. Like,
and hasn't there been a documentary on this already? Or like a docu-series bullshit?
Not that I saw.
Maybe it was another. Whatever. We probably will by the time March comes around. So
yeah, it's true.
Well, is Marvel back? In movie news, Marvel's second release this year, Thunderbolts, has shocked us all. The movie premiered with a strong $162 million at the global box office, which has dethroned Sinners for the top spot. Not nearly the largest Marvel release, but is an uptick in recent years, probably since the end of the Avengers.
I think so.
Series,
they kind of
trilogy.
You know,
what's it called?
Universe.
I think it's all the universe. Anyways, so go see Thunderbolts. In some celebrity couple news, Kylie Jenner, Timothy, I think I'm a little cold.
Chalamet,
Timothy Chalamet have officially made their red carpet debut as a couple at the 70th David D. Donatello Awards in Rome.
I know.
Oh, this is actually, like, that surprises me. The couple have supported each other at various events, but this was the first time they've ever walked the red carpet together.
It's cute, right? They are hard. It's also Monday.
It is. Yeah, because I've seen them at things together, but this is where they just like walked in together for the first
Yeah,
time.
they've never done it. It was actually really cute. I was like, all right, I support this.
Mhm. In Bachelor drama news, season 26 star, which is this season.
No, absolutely not. I couldn't even tell you. I'll use the Google machine.
Okay.
I have no idea
I
what
will
season we're
continue
on.
reading. In Bachelor drama news, season 26 star Clayton Echard has had quite the legal battle these past 2 years. It's reported that an Arizona woman claimed she was pregnant with his child. What? But a court of law has found her guilty of using a fake ultrasound image and fabricated a pregnancy video. She's also accused of lying under oath. The legal battle is over, but dang, that's a rough one. I
Yeah.
mean, how don't you know that there's only a certain amount of time pregnancy lasts that you're going to get got eventually if there's no baby?
Apparently, there were sexual relations between the two. Not like not full, but like she kind of went with it, I guess. It sounded
There
like
weren't. Are you saying there was not a home run and
there
she
wasn't a
was
home run. There was
and
maybe third and second, but there was no home run. Way to
and
do a crossover
yay.
while we're doing like sexual reproduction education. Like it's just like this is why kids in America are confused.
And yet she's still trying to fake a pregnancy.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
I hope that she gets the help that she needs.
And just to confirm, we're now on season 29. So he's 3 years ago. So whatever.
Okay. Okay. I have no idea what this man looks like. Singer. I never know how to say her name.
Kali Suchis, I think.
Kali Zuchis.
Kali Suchis.
It's so like the U is actually
Kalis Uchis.
Kalis Uchis. I like
I
her,
think.
but I never had to say her name out loud till right now.
And that's based off one person saying it to me. So I could
Okay.
be wrong.
Sorry if we mispronounced your name. Released new album titled Sincerely on May 9th. She stated that she wrote the album she knew her future self would need to listen to. So we hope you all check it out, which I'm going to because I actually really do love her. And also, it's not a highlight, but the CMAs happened this last week. Obviously, we're really in touch with the Country Music Awards.
Okay.
RB, I just remembered that right now, but I didn't see anything pop up. That's
Not
crazy.
a single thing popped up for me when I did pop culture this week. Nothing.
All right, so CMA was probably how they always are, uneventful. Sorry to country music. I'm hating. I'm going to just transition us right away. Riri, Rihanna, for those that don't know, dropped a bomb on us last week at the Met Gala. Not only did she show up 1 hour after the red carpet ended, which is iconic.
Yes.
She used the opportunity to announce by show that she is pregnant with her 3rd child. So congrats to her and ASAP, Rocky.
ASAP Rocky. Also, did you see the photo of her like walking down the street like with an umbrella in the rain, like before the Met Gala? It literally looks like a Vogue cover. She just was like using it as the time to like announce. Like it's so cute.
Of course she would.
I love it.
They're just baby 3 under, like she's gonna have 3 under 3 almost. Or at least, I mean, they've kind of been back to back. I might be making that up, but it's.
I'm going to say this, and this means no judgment. It's been quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's ready.
Those kids are going to grow up together. Mm-hmm.
They're going to be BFFs, hopefully. And we kind of spoiled this one, which is not a spoil, but it was a spoil for me because I found out this morning we got a new pope, and he's American. And he's now going by Pope Leo the 14th. So
I was going to say you're a Leo, but you're not. You're a Virgo. So he's for somebody out there. And he's from Chicago, and he went to Villanova. These are things that I learned.
And he was in Peru for a while. He got a lot of family.
Well, exactly. And I feel like maybe I'm following in his footsteps. Dare I become the first woman pope? I don't know. I'm just kidding. What a hot hilarious
Step one, you got to be Catholic.
You can always convert. Yeah,
Right.
at least.
If that's what your goal is, I will support you in it.
Thank you so much. I'll invite you to the ceremony and everything. What a huddle. But it's time to get into the playbook. So today we're going to start by discussing the WNBA kickoff. So kicking off the WNBA season, whatever you want to call it. we're kicking it off here today. And then we're going to get into all the latest tea with Prince Harry and his troubled relationship with the royal family. With that, I'm going to pass it
Juicy.
right back. Welcome to my life last weekend. Right back to you to kick us off.
Yay. Well, I am going to be talking about the WNBA.
Woo!
Wow. So it just feels like basketball is not over because obviously NBA finals are happening. We had the end of the college basketball in March. Well, technically, I guess it went into April. You know, basketball is all the time. As much as it was like, oh, basketball's over, it's not. It doesn't really ever get over. But that's to say the WNBA preseason kicked off May 2nd, and the regular season's kicking off this week on Friday, May 16th. And so the regular season, for those that celebrate, I don't know, it feels like
I don't know. Whatever.
will go till September 11th, and then the postseason will start on September 15th. So there will be a record number of games this year with 44 regular season games, and postseason could have up to 29 games. So they're getting more expansion. So that's like one thing when we've talked about when you hear records being broke during a season, like all season scoring high and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like taking into account that there's more games that are being played within a season for those scoring records. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some more like season records being broken.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, maybe you're already going to talk about it, so just tell me if it is. But like this is the year they're redoing their collective bargaining agreement too, so they could play. What happens? Do they just pause?
Yeah. So that's one thing that I would say everyone kind of just keep their why ear holes is the
I
word?
I don't know. You're just really kind of like vibing with it today.
Not a very vibey word though, so maybe I need to work on that.
No.
You keep your ear to the ground. That feels a little bit better.
Okay, ear to the ground.
Because I believe they've started negotiations and discussions, but that contract, so the thingamabob, that's the technical term,
yeah,
is expiring this year, so they need a new agreement. And so there's talk if they don't get what they want or X, Y, and Z, there could be a potential of, I guess, a strike, which would be like people not playing. So it's like,
okay.
So who's to say what's going to happen? It's definitely going to be an interesting year. I think it's also going to be a very pivotal year, what they're going to be doing and discussing in that, because they had record-breaking years last year. The WNBA is expanding. We got a new team. The Golden State Valkyries this is their first season they're playing. Wow. We're also explaining. We're expanding next year. They've got the Toronto Tempo, and then the Portland team is going to be added on. We don't know their name yet. We've got more games, broadcast, all this stuff. So like they have kind of a lot of leverage here, hopefully. So that will probably be something we'll definitely be covering as we get more updates. And it would be wild if there was just games not played.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Which could be a potential depending on how negotiations go.
Damn.
Yeah. Another first time in league history is for the finals, for the final game and the final game in the finals. They will do a best of 7. So it will be the first time that they've in the WNBA done a best of 7 games. A lot of like in the NBA, every round is a best of 7. NHL, best of 7. So they're not doing it for every round, but they will have it game 7, which I think is really awesome because considering last finals, it was a very close finals series and matches. So I think that would be exciting. Yeah. So we do see some updates too, is we do see the broadcast catching up for the first time. Like for the first time, it's like getting the momentum. We have they for the first time have all preseason games were available to watch on TV.
That's pretty cool.
And then for this regular season, record number of games you can watch streaming. And they've done a lot more primetime games that you'll be able to see. So you don't just have to have like a WNBA league pass. There's going to be more prime time. And I thought they did some cool things for the preseason games to ramp up excitement, like the Indiana Fever, which is Caitlin Clark's team. Okay. They played at her alma mater, the University of Iowa, versus the Brazil's women's national team. So
Oh,
that was
that's
a
cool.
game. And then their New York Liberty, who are the defending WNBA champs,
Yes.
did something similar by going to University of Oregon, which is Sabrina Ionescu's alum,
Wow.
to play a game there for preseason. And they were playing, which love this name, Toyota Antelopes of the Japan Basketball League. Toyota Antelopes.
What is that like acronym?
TA Tota Jibble.
The Tota Jupitals were playing. That is a really like, and sometimes not everybody should be in naming conventions. IDK.
Like me.
I'm not an expert.
I'm not an expert. So that's cool. And then they are opening the regular season with some spicy matchups to, I think, just try to get people right off the bat excited for WNBA. And so May 17th, so this Saturday, they're opening with the New York Liberty, defending champs.
Versus the person they played.
Yeah, versus the Las Vegas Aces, who they lost to, like who they beat in the finals. And then we have Indiana Fever, which is the Caitlin Clark. And then they're playing the Chicago Sky, which is Angel Reese's team. So they're still leaning hard into the rivalry that's not really a rivalry, but it gets numbers. So hopefully this WNBA season, we see better conversations on the way that they talk about
the ladies. I was going to take us somewhere weird, but I was like, someone needs to write a book about that. Like two girls that are pitched in the media. There probably already is, but they've got a deal. She's like, punch me next game. I'll get you a pair of earrings or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I think that's what's crazy is we've talked about this before on the pod is they don't play the same position. So they're not often even like guarding each other. But we shall see. And again, we've talked about this, but there was a lot of trades and new coaches this offseason. So it feels a bit like a whole new league. Some star players got moved around. So that's something to look to. Again, we got a new team, the Golden State Valkyries, to see how they do coming out the gates. Like we already discussed, the CBA discussions are starting. So who's to say what will happen for like the season, or if they need to have like negotiation power by saying we're not playing. And then again, you got the Caitlin Clark phenom, you got the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark of it all. And you also have Asia Wilson, who was the MVP last year. She's with the Las Vegas Aces. She just came out with her new shoe line for Nike. She is one team, one person to watch. And then Paige Buckets. This is her first season in the WNBA with Dallas. So we'll see how she's doing, how she'll do in her debut into the WNBA. So a lot of exciting things happen. My question is, who's our picks? We got to do our picks for the WNBA championship. And anything you are looking forward to see or hoping not to see this WNBA season?
I mean, I'm looking forward to actually going to a game.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Is one of those big names coming here this year?
All of them are, because they play.
I didn't know if there were
WNBA.
There was one game specifically that I was in a group chat where it was like, let's go. But the tickets were $400, which in my mind, I'm like, that's
Caitlin,
a good
was
thing.
Was it the Indiana Fever game?
Maybe. I just know that all of a sudden it was like, whoa, maybe we won't be going to that. It's like, what a turnaround, right? Because like I feel like sometimes the tickets were so cheap, and now it's like, oh no, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to. I do hope the conversation around like the rivals. I mean, if they're in on it, one thing, but if they're not and they're just making crap up, I don't want that story to just continue, because it's going to get old really fast. I think even for people who like are trying to as like get in as an entryway, like if you talk about the same crap every time, it's like, this is boring. Like talk about the other players. What team am I rooting for? Fudge. I'm like trying to remember all the team names. I kind of like, not to be crazy, but like because we didn't get like a triple crown from the Chiefs this year, I kind of want to see the New York Liberty do it. 3 back-to-back. Because it'd be their third time, right?
No.
Really? Was it Aces last time then?
Yeah, so last year Aces were going for a 3-time back-to-back, and then New York Liberty won. So it would be a back-to-back for New York Liberty this year.
I go for back-to-back then.
Okay.
So then they can get on their way to the Triple Crown, you
Oh, the
know?
Triple Crown. We
Yeah,
need a Triple Crown in one way or the other, is what you're saying. Like,
exactly. In
okay,
some sport.
in some sport, in
Like
basketball sport,
horse is out, football's out. Like, hello,
women's basketball's
this is
in
it.
potentially, unless someone
Literally.
triple crowns next year. Triple crowns? That sounds weird.
Triple horn, party for two, triple, you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Okay. It's called Date Night, Steve Carell and Amy Poehler.
Oh my
Not Amy
gosh.
Poehler, Tina Fey. Yeah.
I have seen that movie, but I think, obviously I always want the Seattle Storm to win. That would
Oh,
be awesome. But if we're talking about like not that, I think, Asia Wilson, I think the Aces, I'll be surprised because Kelsey, they traded out Kelsey Plum, things have changed there. I feel like I don't think Indiana Fever is necessarily there, but I feel like things would go crazy if all of a
they
sudden
did.
they did that. Or I've always liked what if Golden State first year in just came in and just
That would be like in are they in Las Vegas too? Sorry,
no,
the
they're in Golden
Valkyrie.
State. They're
Golden, Jesus
San
Christ. And you
Francisco.
just literally said it. But that's like in hockey when I think it was the Las Vegas
Oh,
Aces or
Aces.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just came in and boom. It would be kind of fun.
Yeah. So I think that's all good things. Exciting. I'm actually going to a game this year with my basketball girlies that
Oh,
I coached.
cute.
We're going to see the New York Liberty game, so that will be a fun game. Yeah.
My team,
Yeah,
apparently.
your team. You kind of are like giving Sabrina Ionescu vibes as far as looks go. Um
I don't know what she looks like, but apparently it's me.
she's a white girl with like sandy blonde hair.
Okay, so we're not a monolith.
Yeah. I would say I will not say anything, but
Just because there's a shit ton of them here doesn't mean it is.
okay, fine. But I agree. I think it would be really great to see more fan speak, I will call it, than like the racism non-fans
Yeah.
interjecting and using Caitlin Clark as their way to be hateful. So hopefully they get that shit under control and we are just going to see record attendance. Like the last season, there was a lot of games they upgraded to like bigger stadiums. And I think they've already done that for some games. So I love to see more upgrades to stadiums, sold out tickets,
Yes.
more media
There's a lot to look forward
records.
to.
Cause I think that will one help with the bargaining agreement and two, that let's get these women paid. Like that's what I'm hoping is like this agreement that they are like what's crazy to me is team salary caps in the WNBA, like a whole team salary cap is like on
One
average
contract.
less than what one NBA player makes in the NBA. And we're talking like the lower end players too, because I think some teams salary caps are like it's like a $1 million salary cap.
Okay.
Yeah. So like let's like they're talking about like getting I think the salary cap or the individual cap is like 200 something like that. There's some projection of trying to get it to be 1 million per player. Like that's like a max salary. I'm here for it. So
I have to say I'm looking forward to it. I think that maybe while I'm in Peru, I might miss some of these like first games. I don't know if I'll be able to get it up there with all the alpacas and stuff.
alpacas.
Alpacas and stuff. But wow, thank you for that update.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited to see what happens. New York Liberty is going to dominate this season. Watch it come back and just eat me. They are like last. I don't wish that upon anybody. But I think it's time to transition into our next topic, which is the royalty. And I'm gonna be
royalty. That's so funny.
Thank you. I want to give an update on Prince I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm not sure how anybody could have missed this entire story. I mean, I know there's updates that I'm gonna share today, but like there has literally been drama with the British royal family since early 2020. And I get that that was kind of a crazy year for all of us, but like it's been going on for a long time. So there's been some like kind of recent updates, and we'll go through the timeline a little bit, but we're just going to kind of go through all of it. But like the most recent update happened on May 2nd that 3 Court of Appeal judges dismissed Harry's legal case against the UK government over security that was lost when he stepped back from his royal duties. So for a little bit of context, the case was launched in September of 2020. So this has, like, for them also has been going on for a really long time. And it kind of seems like it's come to a close. Like, this is kind of the end of that. It also is, like, pretty important because it seems to be, like, the central, maybe one of the central reasons why there's been, like, tension within the family. Um, After the case was dismissed, so on May 2nd, Harry did release a statement saying that he just thinks it's no longer worth it to keep fighting for this. So he's not going to, even if this kind of feels like the end, he's not even willing to keep fighting because he doesn't know how much longer his father will be with him. Because he also has cancer. When Kate announced, he also announced that he had cancer. So he just feels like it's not really the time to keep fighting it, given what's going on in the family. So he also stated, like, during this, like, this security matter was part of the like the reason why his father wouldn't speak to him, which is interesting. But you know, it is what it is. But it also, like, feels like to me they've been in the news a lot over the past couple years, and it's wild that, like, for me when I was looking into this, like, it wasn't clear to me that this is the reason why they stopped talking. I thought that I feel like there's just been, like, so much about them in the news that I was kind of like, what? Like, and I feel like a lot of the tabloids made it seem like there's all these things happening behind closed doors that we didn't know about. And I'm sure that there was to some extent, but this seems to be the main thing. But for context, I'm just going to give us some other things that were happening while all of this was going on. So we're diving into the timeline, and this is a shit ton. So just stop me if you get confused. But we're going to start all the way back at the beginning, which is Harry and Meghan confirmed their relationship. Harry met Sally in 1987. I don't know if that's the year, but you know. But Harry and Meghan confirmed their relationship in November of 2016. When
it's been almost a decade.
I know, which is wild because they've been in the news this whole time. So when they confirmed their relationship, he immediately condemned the press for and states that they've crossed a line and used racial undertones. So, like, from the get-go, this has been,
I remember.
They were. This was what was happening. He also hints that, like, he's stating this and trying to be upfront because it's really personal to him, because his mom her death is related to her being pursued by the media. So it's very close to him.
Yeah.
And it was weird. So that's number one. 2017, 1 year later, they announced their engagement, and then they get married in the spring of 2018. So they fell in love. Okay. It's a love story, baby. Just, I don't know why I'm singing today. And, like,
yes.
Exactly. And why am I singing? I'm like, whatever, Shakira. And then in 2019, Harry, so they get married, they announce, whatever. He presents a lawsuit against 3 big media outlets for obtaining stories about him during his youth through illegal intrusion, which I'm like, well,
that.
Yeah, so that's happening in 2019.
Okay.
In 2020, Harry and Meghan officially announced that they're going to step back as senior royals and would like to become financially independent. Say it.
I have a question. Did Meghan already, or the Duchess of Essex, did they already have their first child, Archie?
Yes.
Okay.
So I left out births and deaths.
That makes sense. But I just wanted to, like, in context, they had their kid. She went through a whole pregnancy, had the kid, and that it was after their first that they decided. Okay.
They said, we're going to step away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is, again, where, like, that family tea starts. And Harry and Meghan they were in Canada and then end up in California. So later in 2020, the committee who decides security provisions for the royals share that Harry will not receive the same level of tax, which I think is important, taxpayer-funded protection as when he was full-time royal, which led him to launching legal action. So at this point, this is where what we talked about, what happened on May 2nd, this is where that starts. So, like, late 2020, he launches action against UK government. Then in 2021, Meghan wins an invasion of privacy lawsuit against the Daily Mail because they had published a letter that she wrote to her father in 2018. And I think you probably
Yeah, I
remember
remember
that.
that.
There was all kinds of swirl happening around their wedding too, and Daily Mail published that. She actually won that lawsuit. And in 2022, so after that lawsuit, Harry's got 2 lawsuits. They had 3 lawsuits going. Meghan won
Busy
hers.
people.
They've got the one against the UK government, the one against the media, the 3 big media companies. Then, in the midst of all of this, Harry releases his book in 2022 called Spare, which details all kinds of information, not only about himself, but his mother's death, his frustration with his family, and his frustration with the media. So there's a lot going on in this. In 2023, Harry testifies in a case against the 3 media groups. So he actually goes and testifies against that first lawsuit that he had. And he later wins that because and this is what is so crazy to me, because the judge ruled that the newspapers had hired private investigators to snoop for personal information and engaged in illegal phone hacking for over a decade.
Oh my God.
Which is insane.
Decade? Wait,
That's
also, that's insane, but also how did the British, like, that's kind of embarrassing for the British security. Maybe you don't want them to protect you if it's been a decade that they were phone tapping and no one figured it out.
and no one could figure it out. Like that to me is like insane. So Meghan, they had the 3, Meghan won hers, he won this one, and then we had that last one out, which we now know, and brings us to this lawsuit, which essentially it's been squashed. I didn't mention this, like I said, we didn't mention any of the births or deaths, but at the same time, Queen Elizabeth had passed, and then his father became the king. So that just like a lot of shit. He had 2 kids. Kate had cancer. His dad now, like, just family shit after family shit. Well,
Really, family
all
dramas.
of this.
We all have family drama, right?
It's
Am I right?
fucking true, man. Yeah. Are you right? Listeners, like, let us know what yours is. I don't know. Right into
Yeah.
the We'd love to hear it. We won't like air it out though. But I bring up the topic because I think it's an interesting outcome for Harry and Meghan, as well as like an important discussion on like a right to like the right to privacy, especially if you're like saying like I'm going to leave, but then I don't know. So for other context, before I ask your thoughts, I want to see like what about the other royals? Like what is their security like?
Like
So
not, yeah, okay.
yeah, so like not all royals had top security like Harry before he stepped back. Only the king, queen or consort Camilla, Prince William and his family have the full-time security. Others like Prince Anne, Prince Edward do not have full-time security, so they don't have it either while they live there. And I do think like this makes sense, but I think it's important to note they also removed state-funded security from Prince Andrew when he stepped back in 2019. So it's not like Harry was singled out. This is kind of how it has worked within their family, whether you agree that's right or not. He also shared his fear of just, his path being like his mother's, which I think is very legitimate.
Yeah.
And I think he does have like legit concerns based on like the phone tapping and shit. Like it's not like he's just
making
I don't think he's
up.
like he's not making this shit up and he's saying I'm scared for no reason. I mean, his mother's death and in a court of law they found that people are tapping your phone. Like, yeah, you would want security.
And the harassment that Meghan has faced since they got together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little absurd. So I don't know. Questions I have are like, do you think he should get tax funded security, or do you think that he should like my thing is like, I don't know if he should get tax funded. Like maybe he could potentially pay because it's not like they don't have money to pay for some type. But I do think there's also the alternative that the press is punished for invading privacy like that. Like there needs to be a balance where it's like, it can't be just him paying for more and no punishment on these people doing like insane behavior. Like,
yeah. Well, I think this is like the interesting like difference between like the States and like the UK is because you've got the monarchy and then you also have like the government side. And because when you look at the United States, like after presidents leave, they have Secret Service still. Like everyone is, still has Secret Service.
True.
Now, it might not be the same kind of level, but there is a certain level of protection that still happen, and that's all taxpayer money that
Yeah.
and we don't probably think about it as much, but if a president's still alive and like there's Secret Service protecting them because of the significant public role in what they have played in
Yeah.
our government. And so on the monarchy side, like, okay, is that a waste of taxpayer money? Potentially. And with someone as high level as that I think
Is going
too,
to be targeted.
yeah, and
Is targeted.
is like to your point of like, unless there was like real true boundaries that could be created between them and the press, because then at the same time it's like the press feels like they have like full reign, and like they don't have, especially like, I don't know if it's just the tabloids and the British tabloids, it feels like they're gonna go do whatever they can to get all the dirt. And so that's kind of
Yeah.
scary. And if your mom's already passed away because of that, that can be an
It's crazy.
added scary.
It's an added scary to your life.
Because like also, do the royals get paid with taxpayer money? So then like, if it's not taxpayer money budget wise, but then the family pays for it, isn't it all kind of this? Aren't we kind of all saying the same thing here?
Yeah.
Um, and I know it was, their decision to step away. And who did you say? One of the other princes or someone that stepped away?
It's Prince Andrew, and
He's
his
not
is
as
not.
he's not as connected and close, I think, in the chain of
Well, I mean, he was the
succession.
son of the queen, or yeah, it was one of her children. So is Prince Anne. So those are her kids. Where it's like Prince Harry is one of the king's kids. It's the same.
Yeah,
Like
but like line
they're
of
that
six,
close.
I guess I don't fully know the line of succession. So
Well,
who's
Harry's not that close anymore because after him it's Prince George and then Charlotte and then Louis.
right? So
So he's
after
been
Charles, King Charles,
William.
William, that's who's is
That's
William.
why the book was called Spare.
Yeah, okay. But that's all I'm saying. I don't know. So I think
I think,
mostly.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, if at one point he was like third in line, and like if something happened to William, yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, to your point, their family could be in a helicopter crash, and is it Harry?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that I'm wishing that on anybody. I just want it clear.
Well, I don't know. I think security, obviously, they need security. I
They
heard,
need
did
it.
you tell me that Tyler Perry paid for their security
Yeah, and I
when
don't know if that's
they
like confirmed,
moved
but
to
like
Canada?
that's been cemented in my when they moved down to California from Canada.
Oh,
Apparently,
okay.
he was like helping with security.
Like help coordinating like security for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think this is just taxpayer money versus public, like who should pay for it. I think they should have security. I could be understand too of like they stepped away, I think, because of all this public invasion of privacy, and so that played a role in it, in them stepping away. So I think that also,
yeah.
I think it's all like sticky and it's all
It's
ugh.
messy because
It's
like
messy.
I get okay. I'm not trying to say I don't side with one or the other, but I do think it's like he kind of expected that like, hey, we're leaving. And I'm not saying this like this is so fucking easy to do, but I am saying like they did step away and make kind of a big moment of it, saying like we want to be financially independent, but we want you to pay for our security while we do this.
Yeah.
That is a little, it does feel maybe
Well,
juxtaposing
and then
ideas.
and if they're not on like the royal tour, like Prince William and
Mm-hmm.
Duchess Kate, I don't
No
know.
idea.
Like they have like most of their travel is based on royal duties, whereas like,
Yeah.
Meghan and Harry have been traveling a lot, not all like obviously not official royal. Like then at that point too, it's like you would need security that is being paid for by someone else when you get to go do whatever you want to do, and it's not part of the royal. Yeah, like
And
I
kind of
can get.
like, and kind of slam your family. Like, I'm not saying what their family, it just seems like they were not on the same page. And
Yeah,
maybe this was one of the ways that the family was using it against them. It could be, you're not going to have security if you don't stay. We want you
yeah,
to be
like it's
top
like a
fit. And
leverage
like,
tool.
it's a
Yeah,
leverage tool. So I get it, but I just think it's interesting. I think what I take away from it is like I'm glad he's kind of they won 2 of 3. You won the round and of
and
legal battles
they won all the ones with the press, I think.
with the press, and
Yeah.
I think that that's what matters. And I'm glad he can kind of take this moment to step away and say like my father's sick. I don't know how much longer. Hopefully, they're able to kind of have a little bit of a semi-normal relationship that works for both of them. And at the end of the day, stop fucking phone tapping people. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably all getting phone tapped, but like, it's fine.
I think
I'm
there's
just
something
gonna
called like the
and
page. I was like, there's something called the Patriot Act, and that's a political podcast.
Let's jump into conspiracy theories now.
Woo! What's yours?
That's crazy. In this economy,
I feel like you're pulling out like just like phrases you hear on like a YouTube. Like in this economy, that's crazy. Call 1-800 shop for less. Like, you know what I
mean? Yeah.
Live,
laugh, love. I think that is a sign of the times. That it's a wrap for today's podcast because I'm losing it. Let us know what stories you want us to cover when we are back on June 5th. So as a reminder, we are taking a 2-week break. So let us know what you want to hear when we return.
But like in the meantime, do not forget to hit follow and subscribe to our show on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, and turn on the frickin' notifications so you can stay up to date on all the latest sport and society stories.
And please rate the pod. But in the meantime, stay sharp, stay sassy, and we'll catch you later.